11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. What a fight! I think Zerafa won it!
Juan, the Hispanic causing panic, Lascano.
And thanks to those joining me live, those of you joining me on the archive. If you haven't already, hit the like button, watching on the archive, and subscribe, hit the notifications, that whole nine, all that stuff. Make sure you guys do that. I appreciate everybody that's tuning in. Jesus Sam in the chat. How's it going, brother? It shouldn't be a long show. A couple of things. We're gonna talk Andrew Tate. We're going to talk Inoue dominating. Nakatani obviously had a tough fight. We're going to touch on some of that, but I have more on that tomorrow. Nikita Tszyu versus Zerafa and No Limit. I know I said I was going to do that one last show, but I got to talk about the Nikita fight. And No Limit just keeps dropping the ball. I don't what is No Limit doing, bro? Like, I don't get it. Batista, what do you care about No Limit? You don't live in Australia. Well, I'm a non-honorary Australian, so it is what it is. But that aside, they are the biggest promotional company in Australia. And as a boxing is a global sport, I care about what's going on all over the world. Right? They're putting on these jokes of fights, but they're jokes. We're going to talk about all that. All right? Let me know what you guys think. Am I out of pocket? All right. New feature, by the way, when this is an archive, you can actually ask the AI now to break it down for you. What's this video about? What does D-Style talk about? That whole nine, and it breaks it down for you. I don't know if you guys have tried that yet, and it works with works for me. I don't know if you need the premium subscription or not on YouTube to get that, but I know it's there, and it's well worth the breakdown. The AI seems to like me a lot. Says I'm good at what I do, and I'm good at breaking it down, and like, you know what I mean? Like I'm just saying, the speaker speaks with confidence, and said, I was like, damn, if the AI is giving me some credit, I mean, I gotta give, it is what it is. Let's get down to it really quick. I know it's very impromptu. I know it's on a Saturday. I'm usually not even live at this time, but I appreciate you guys being on. I appreciate tuning in. If you hit the like button, it's much appreciated. Let's start with Inoue. Let's just get that out of the way. He fought against Picasso, and let me say this, guys. I like the matchup from the beginning. I didn't think it was pay-per-view worthy, like they're giving it to us in the US, but it was a really I knew it'll be a good fight. I think Naoya Inoue 4 times this year. He fought 4 times. Very active fighter. Some are arguing he should be the fighter of the year, given his activity, given his dominance. Now, by default, in many lists, he's the number 1 pound for pound. And I agree with that, especially with the retirement of Terrence Crawford. Some of them already had Inoue there. This was a super bantamweight fight, and it was fighting David Picasso. I have no idea if it's related to Pablo Picasso, the great artist. He's an artist in his own right, with boxing gloves, but only 25 years old, young guy, right? Highly touted in terms of, like, a lot of people had a lot of high expectations for him. But again, he's young. He's a young contender, and it's good to see a champion giving a young contender a shot. Just some interesting facts about this fight. Believe it or not, professional boxer, 32-0 with 17 knockouts. top 5 in the world, David Picasso, was a bigger underdog than Jake Paul was against Anthony Joshua. Do you not understand how crazy that is? I think that shows us how good the bookies think of Inoue. Right? Shout out to Mark Nash with the super sticker. I appreciate it, brother. For some reason, StreamYard doesn't let me see the super sticker. Should probably fix that. I'll definitely check that out. All right.
I'm a hard-working man.
All right. So shout out to him. And of course, that guy Inoue.
Man, that nigga was that Japanese guy was in shape.
I mean, that dude Inoue was in shape, bro. Right? But yeah, David Picasso was a bigger underdog. This undefeated Mexican boxer with more than 24 fights, a bigger underdog than Jake Paul was against Anthony Joshua. Now, in those that know boxing know that's ridiculous. Like Jake Paul literally had no shot. Shout out to Remy. I appreciate it, brother. I believe Inoue needs a break until May. Absolutely. For sure.
I'm a hard-working man.
Shout out to our guy Remy. Much appreciated. All right. And the thing with David Picasso, I put a bet for this fight, guys. Okay. And I'll show you my receipt. I have the proof. Now, I live in Texas, so I have a friend out in Australia that does bets for me. All right. But this is my bet. So so I put in this bet, and just to show my receipt, to show the proof. I thought this was a really good bet. I felt it was likely. I felt there was a really good chance it would hit. And it was Naoya Inoue on points or decision at 5.20 odds. All right. And that's 20 American. I guess you're wondering why it's 28, and look at what it paid out. The reason I'm showing you this, if you look at the 5-1 odds, what's significant about this, what you guys need to get about this is this. Like this will blow your mind, okay? True story. Before the Jake Paul fight with Anthony Joshua, my brother came to me, right? Well, I was actually working with my brother, but anyway, he's like, should I put some money on Jake Paul? Right? And this is before I knew the odds. And I said, no, I wouldn't put, he's not going to win, right? It is what it is. And he's like, well, the odds are like 5 or 6 to 1, it was at the time. And I remember thinking to myself, how disrespectful is that to Anthony Joshua? Like the bookies were giving Jake Paul like a 6 to 1 chance. I mean, this is unbelievable. Oh, 1 to 6, whatever it is, right? They were giving it was about like, that's like about a 20% chance to win, bro. Like that's crazy. He had no shot to, he was not going to win that fight. Right? But in a way, to win by decision against Picasso had similar odds to that. That blows my mind. So I put the bet. I said, you know what? This is a young, hungry, contender who's going to come to win, who's going to come to give it his all. He's not going to come to lay down. He's going to come to fight. I don't even think he's been down. I don't think he's been hurt like that. I mean, this is a young, hungry, undefeated Mexican warrior, and he's going to Riyadh. He's going to try to fulfill his dream. I mean, anyone who thinks this guy's going to lay down and just get laid out is out of their minds. Not that Inoue couldn't stop him. I thought if he did, he would have to put a beating on him and stop him late. I like the chances. I like that. Not only is he a tough kid, he's got some skills on him. I do believe that David Picasso is a future world champion once Inoue moves on from this division. Inoue just stayed generational great. And I like the bet. I said, you know what? I get Inoue to win, and I get him by decision. I think this kid goes the distance, and he did. And nobody honestly should be shocked that it went the distance. I felt there was a 50-50 chance, and with odds like that, I took it. All right? So, my dude, Picasso, right? I mean, this dude's on a roll, bro. Like he painted the Mona Lisa. He went a distance with Inoue. He did his thing. All right? And look, I like the way Inoue fought. Like, I did not see a problem with Inoue's performance. I get that he was disappointed. Shout to Remy, by the way, and he says, I didn't get my KO, but wasn't disappointed. I wasn't disappointed either. I think he fought a smart fight. People need to understand this. You guys need to understand this, please. Inoue started at 108 pounds. And he's also not that young in a way, right? Like Inoue has over 30 fights, as we know, but he's 32 years old, and that is not that young for those weight classes, all right? Historically, typically. And so you need to understand he's gone up several weight classes. These guys in his weight classes are physically, naturally bigger than him. These are guys that drop in weight and then they rehydrate 8 pounds, 10 pounds, 12 pounds, whatever it is. And they get, they outweigh him on fight night. So, yeah, Inoue's going to have to fight a little smarter. He's going to have to be a little more careful than he's been in other weight classes. Right? And look, if that is Ness's take, if Ness said this, then Ness is wrong. Right? At the end of the day, it's whatever. All right? This was a young, hungry contender who put up a better fight than Fulton did, that put up a much better fight than a lot of these so-called champions did. And this is a future world champion. This is not the end. This is not the last time you've heard of David Picasso. It isn't, right? And I thought, even though Inoue clearly won, Inoue dominated the fight in terms of the rounds, I thought David Picasso put up a great fight. Like, it didn't look, he was outclassed, but it also didn't look like he didn't belong in there, right? And he didn't come to lay down, and you have to appreciate a fighter like that. I thought he won at least, 2 to 3 rounds. It's not saying a lot, but again, Inoue is a generational great, an undisputed defending champion that, for whatever reason, I cannot speak about other countries, but American fight fans just don't appreciate. But fuck them. Like, you know what I mean? This is a fighter that doesn't need America. This is a fighter that does $20 million gates over there in Tokyo. He doesn't need us. But those that do appreciate him, I got to tell you right now, I appreciate Inoue in a way. And I think he's a phenomenal fighter. I thought he fought the perfect fight. If this was any other fight in any weight class, they would say, oh, look at him. He outclassed him. He did this. And all these other fighters that never get knockouts get all this credit for their wins and this, that, and the third. But Inoue doesn't get a knockout, and now all of people act like he had a close fight. Right? People are out of control. And I will say, Junto Nakatani, my God, did he have a close one, right? Junto Nakatani earned his paycheck. We'll put it that way. Right? All these guys brought it, but Junto, Sebastian Reyes, I mean, talk about volume, talk about pressure. What a Mexican warrior, bro. And there's you could never count out a Mexican warrior. You just can't do it. I've seen so many times these Mexicans, they bring them over to like whether it's Europe or what, like in this case it was Riyadh, but I seen it happen a lot in Europe. Like they'll bring them over there, and it's not someone this caliber, by the way. It could be a dude that's obscure, 18-2 or whatever, and then they show up and they just blow the dude away. Like they just show up in their wreck shop, right? And I'm gonna tell you right now that it's just different. It hits different when you fight a Mexican fighter. The pressure hits different. And this is a big Mexican fighter, 5'9". He was solid, right? Didn't get tired, didn't stop coming. He's young, he's hungry. On paper, everyone thought, hey, this guy's gonna get destroyed. But no. I'm coming to wreck shop. And I thought he won minimum 5 rounds in that fight. Minimum. He busted up Nakatani, right? Kane Mack, how's it going, brother? Hope everything's good. JJ Anaya, how's it going, brother? Right? This Sebastian Reyes kid, him, Picasso, I think they should make that fight. I think that's a phenomenal fight. I think that's a war. A lot of people are already saying Reyes would win. I guess they're basing it off their performances. But I don't know, man. Like, I'm all in. I want to watch this kid again. All right? This is somebody we should watch out for. And I'm all in. Like, I'm going to tell you right now. A puncher. I mean, these are high KO ratios. Like, 18 of his 20 wins are by knockout. This, for those weight classes, that's a very high KO ratio. Doesn't matter who the fuck you're fighting. So it was a big step up for him, obviously. But man, did he bring it? That one judge kind of screwed up. Like, look, the right man won. I thought Nakatani won the fight. That's all that matters. But that one judge, 118, 110, is kind of crazy to me. But whatever, right? We're not gonna. I'm not gonna cry over spilled milk. The right guy won. Like, Nakatani did win the fight, right? But man, this is gonna be something else. And shout out to Picasso. I thought Picasso, he didn't have Hernandez type performance, but I thought he looked respectable in there, right? And like a guy that was coming to try to upset the apple cart with a mission. And he as a fan of his, he made me proud, right? He made Mexican boxing proud at the end of the day. And so did Hernandez, obviously, right? With that said, I think it's time to make Inoue versus Nakatani. It's that time. I've always felt Inoue beats Nakatani, right? I still feel he'll beat Nakatani. I'm not basing it off the fact that Nakatani just had a tough fight. Shit happens, right? But I do think both of them will elevate their game. If they have time to prepare, if it's from now to May, my God, is that going to be a fight to look forward to? Is that a fight I want to see? That fight belongs in Japan. All right, not in a little arena in Riyadh. It belongs in the Tokyo Dome in Japan, $20+ million gate. People will travel out there. I mean, this will be a massive event. And the Japanese people deserve that event in their home country. And that's just how I feel about that. All right. Two great warriors. I love the theme, by the way, the samurai warrior thing. I love the theme. It was good. But with that said, it's time. No more in between fights now. Do it now. Now's the time, right? And maybe in 2 or 3 years, we'll get a Bam Inoue fight at some point, and that's a fight that people are going to keep talking about till and when it happens. Until and when it happens, I'm going to tell you right now, I do believe Bam Rodriguez will be the guy to get the torch passed to him from Inoue, right? And he'll become the king of the little guys, okay? Now, I know that's a lot to say now. People will scoff at that. No way. That's how I feel. Right? Next up, 118 for Bam. Eventually, they'll just be one weight class apart. And I do believe Bam will beat Nakatani. So I do think that's a fight that's somewhere in the trajectory in the future, maybe 2027 or maybe 2028. But I do think it's there. All right? With the Saudi money, it might be there even sooner. But I'm just telling you right now, my crystal ball sees Bam going there at some point. And my God, is that going to be glorious. Now, granted, Bam still needs to get some wins on the way there. At some point, a weight class is going to be too big for Bam. Will it be 122? I don't know. I don't think so. I think he'll be good enough. And I think he'll be fine. I think featherweight is a weight class that I'm looking at. I don't know about that. With that said, maybe we don't get the Bam fight because maybe Inoue moves up to 126. I still think Inoue beats all the guys at 126, but I do think they're all tough matchups. These are, again, much bigger guys, and I think people forget that Inoue is a very small man. Even for 122, he'll be even smaller, obviously, in 126. And these are guys that are going to be outweighing him by a significant amount of pounds. And it's really going to just be the skill of Inoue if it's enough to overcome that. Inoue, again, early 30s, people kind of forget, and they compare Manny Pacquiao to him a lot, right? So they say, well, Manny Pacquiao, he started at 106 pounds, and he went all the way up to 150, right? Pacquiao is a physically bigger man than Inoue. Okay? If you look at Pacquiao in the lower weight classes, he looked like a long, skinny, sickly guy, right? Who rehydrated a lot. Even when he was at featherweight, he was rehydrating a lot, right? So expecting Inoue, who has a smaller frame than Pacquiao, which is smaller in stature than Pacquiao, expecting him to move up that many weight classes is crazy to me. And what he's done already is amazing. And I'm talking about Inoue. The other thing people need to keep in mind is that when Pacquiao, by the time Pacquiao was in his 30s, he was already, like, I think, at welterweight. Like, their trajectories are just a lot different, right? And somebody, whoever's watching, look up how old Pacquiao was when he fought De La Hoya and posted in the chat to give you an idea, right? Now, don't get me wrong. I do think Pacquiao was a little undersized for welterweight, but I'm just saying he's bigger than Inoue, right? So 126 is pushing it for Inoue. I believe he can do it, but I'm not expecting him to. Like, I'm not like requiring him to move up. If Inoue wants to stay at 122, let guys like obviously like Nakatani's doing it, like Bam, other guys within the weight class, like meet him there. That's cool. But you guys need to understand, Nick Ball is going to outweigh Inoue by a lot. Nick Ball is maybe not taller, but he's a big dude, right? These are big guys at featherweight. I think he beats Leo, but Leo's a big dude. He's not a small guy, right? And the reality is, moving up to featherweight, it's very possible that, look, all punches hurt, but like how impactful and how devastating is the power of Naoya Inoue at 126 pounds? And people could say what they want. Oh, it's only 4 pounds. And maybe that's not a lot for us fat asses. Okay. I know that's not a lot for like dudes up at, in the higher weight classes. But when you look at the proportion and the percentage of body mass for a guy like Inoue, that is a lot of weight. That makes all the difference in the world. So the punch resistance of his opponents is going to increase. So, and his, you know what I mean? He's going to be carrying more weight. So that how much speed and power is he going to carry with him? Like, we could only guess at this point, right? Thank you, brother. So Manny Pacquiao was 29 years old when he fought Oscar De La Hoya at welterweight. So people are, you could just do what Pacquiao did, right? Pacquiao was 29 years old. He had already fought De La Hoya. That fight was at welterweight. We're nowhere near that. And do yourselves a favor. Go look up Inoue. I'm sorry. Well, him too if you want. A lot of great fights to watch. But go look up like Inoue. Oh my God. Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao fights in the lower weight classes. Right? And look at his frame. Look how much bigger he looks than a lot of these guys in the smaller weight classes. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of amazing how much weight Manny Pacquiao was cutting. And he moved up through these weight classes a lot faster because he was outgrowing them a lot faster, right? And then he kind of stayed at 130 for a while, a featherweight, 130 in those weight classes for a while. And Inoue hasn't even got into featherweight. Much smaller guy. If you watch Donaire Inoue, you could just physically see how much bigger Donaire is, his frame, how much bigger he was than Inoue. Now you could see when he fought Neri, you could see the frame difference. These are you saw it with Fulton. So like imagine, just now try to imagine him going up yet another weight class with yet bigger guys that are going to be rehydrating and outweighing him by a lot, right? So obviously Inoue wants to fill in a little more. He wants to acclimate a little more before he makes that final. I do think featherweight will be his last weight class, right? And that's okay. Like you know, it's a lot to ask guys to keep moving up, right? There's a lot of guys that are about the same size as Inoue that stayed in the lower weight classes, right? And, you know, like Ricardo Lopez didn't move up all these weight classes, but he's still a legend and a great fighter, right? But for people to be like, well, in a way, he needs to move up as many weight classes as Manny Pacquiao did, right? Well, again, different dimensions, different frame. It's just he's a different fighter to Manny. They're both great in their own right, but he's not as big as Manny Pacquiao. And I believe people need to respect that. I don't think they do. I think a lot of guys want to force him to move up because they want to see him lose. You want to see, you're so desperate for whatever reason, I don't know why, to see Inoue get exposed. So you want him to move up so you could watch him lose, right? You think he's getting too much credit and they don't give credit to the American fighters or whatever your beef is, that's what it is. And I'm not here for that. I'm going to give this guy his credit 100%, right? Is Espinosa the biggest challenge for featherweight? 100% Espinosa's biggest challenge. 100%. The volume, the skill of Espinosa, the power of Espinosa, can box on the outside, inside. That'll be very challenging to Inoue. Nick Ball, in his own way, is a challenge. That was like a wrecking ball. He's going to be a challenge for Inoue. I think the easiest fight, none of them are easy, by the way, but the easiest is the Angelo Leo fight, in my opinion, right? But again, there's a danger there. This is a big guy and stuff. I do think Inoue handles them relatively easy, but there's going to be a danger there. But yeah, those other two fights are tough, right? Manny is wider. He's a bigger bone dude. You look at Inoue. If you know how to look at people's bone structures, he's not that big of a guy. He just isn't, right? He may look larger than life, and he is, but he's got a small frame. So it's, if you would have asked me like a couple years ago if I think Inoue will be fighting 122, I would have said maybe. Like I wouldn't even be sure, to be honest with you. So when he was fighting 118, I honestly felt like maybe this is a stretch for him, right? Like maybe this is as much as he's going to do. The fact that he moved up that he became undisputed there and went up another weight class to become undisputed is amazing, right? Yeah, the calves of Manny, there's the frame of Manny, the waist of Manny. He's just a bigger guy than Inoue, right? He's also got a bigger head than Inoue. You know what I mean? Like I'm just saying. But anyway. Again, fan of both guys. They're great in their own right, man. it's what. And by the way, what Manny did was amazing. Like what Manny Pacquiao accomplished in so many weight classes is absolutely amazing, right? But so yes, his skill, his heart, his determination, him being a great fighter has a lot to do with what he accomplished, right? But he had the frame, more so of a frame, right? Even though he was undersized, in my opinion, Pacquiao was for welterweight, right? So he still gets a whole lot of credit for it, right? But Inoue is even more undersized. So when people are talking about Inoue moving up and breaking Manny's record, it's like he doesn't have the frame to do it. It's just my opinion, right? And I'm gonna stick to it. That's all I'm gonna say, right? It's a pipe dream to think of Inoue fighting at 140 pounds. I'll be honest. I don't even want to see him fight at 140. Ever, right? Anyone's ever? I've seen people suggest that. By the way, that's insane. 135 is a fucking stretch. I think that's too much, right? If he does 130, maybe one fight and call it a day, and that's it. But that's whatever. That's it. Let's talk about No Limit. All right. Y'all's favorite Australian promoter. Right now, shout out to No Limit. They're doing their thing, and shout out to them, you know what I mean? But I do like overall, like look, I give credit where credit is due, okay? So let me start out by giving them credit, okay? Now before I do that, I gotta go do something real quick, guys. I'll be right back after this. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back after this.
11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. What a fight! I think Zerafa won it.
Juan, the Hispanic causing panic, Lascano.
All right, so sorry about that. I just have to take care of something real quick. But that's it. Thank you for being here, right? So, look, man, I like, for the most part, I think, I think No Limit has some of the best production I've seen, and I'm not just talking Australia. I'm just talking in general. They got some really good production going on. They got some, like they're doing their thing. You know what I mean? If this thing will work, I don't know what's going on here. And I like this card. Like, you know what I mean? This is a No Limit. I mean, look, context, right? Like for us, like this is pay-per-view, like Zerafa versus like, but for Australia, I get it, right? Like I got no beef with this being it's whatever. I guess Australians can chime in and give their thoughts on this, but like, I get it though. Like I understand why it's pay-per-view. Like I'm not gonna lie to you, right? But of course everybody would prefer it for free, but I get it. You know what I mean? And it's a step for Tszyu. Michael Zerafa is he's stuck between a rock and a hard place. Zerafa, I've heard him be described as like a guy that's too good for the domestic level, but then when he steps up to the elite level worldwide, he just gets like he gets destroyed. So he's kind of like, well, where does he go? And I feel like this position right now, he's kind of like playing the role of like a Chop Chop Corley was in the U.S. or something like that, right? So he could kind of play that role of like the guy that faces the up and comer. He either exposes them or they beat them and they kind of graduate to like being a little above domestic level and can now maybe start fighting more of an extended regional or maybe even, a worldwide level, right? And I know, Remy, look, I'm not saying people are like, what? This is pay-per-view. Like, I get it, right? How's it going? He's anti-pay-per-view. We get it. But here's the thing. And that aside, let's just put that aside. All I'm saying is that from what I understand from like looking at it from an Australian point of view, I'm going to be honest with you. If I was a promoter, right, and I was promoting out of Australia and this was my main event, I would put it on pay-per-view, right? And you guys would hate me, would say, what do you mean pay-per-view? I get it. Don't get me wrong. But that's all I'm saying, right? But with that said, I like the card. Liam Paro versus Patty Donovan as a co-main. I think that's the better fight, right? Like, but it's it's shit. You get it as a co-main. Hey, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not complaining. At the end of the day, you know what I mean? Overall, don't have a lot to complain about this fight. But then you get Liam Wilson's on the undercard. Okay, cool, right? But then you got this fight. Well, I was looking at this and I'm like, who the hell is this dude? Who's Nelson Sofa Solomon? Like, who the fuck is this? Who is this guy? Like, what? Is he some like Australian, like big amateur superstar that was fought in the Olympics or was like, I don't know, did he win some tournaments as an amateur? So he's highly touted. We got to really feature him here. Like, is that what he is? Like, I honestly didn't know who the fuck this dude was, bro. I don't know. Like, I was looking at this and I don't know, who is this dude? I don't know who this is, bro. Like, who is this guy and why is he featured like in the top 4 matchup? And who was his opponent? Jeremy Lattimore. Why is the guy 1-0 the B-side? Like, what's going on here? Who is this dude? And then I find out somebody just told me he's a rugby player. Lyndon told me, by the way. Shout out to him. He's a rugby player? Like, what are we doing? Like, this is you're not helping your cause. It was not that long ago when I told George Rose, hey, the ladies on your like Shotgun and Jazzy Parr, also Desley and Scott, like they dominated like social media. Those were the fights everybody was talking about. Like, and he gave me like he's too good for a social media response. Like, if we did things based off social media and popularity like that, yes, our booking will look a lot different. Oh, I didn't know you had such a principled stance like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you're just into legitimate boxing, I guess, or whatever that means, whatever he meant by that, right? Well, then what is this? And I go to his page and he tried to do social media out of it. Hey, who wants to make their pro debut? Put your name to fight this rugby player making his pro debut on No Limit. Like what? You're putting this? What are we doing? Like, what is this? This is like misfit shit, bro. That's what this is. Now, if you weren't Mr. I'm not about the clicks and all that, then it wouldn't make sense. But obviously you are about the clicks. It's just that you want it to be the clicks you care about, right? You must have some connection with rugby and you like rugby, so maybe it makes sense to you. I don't know, right? You can't feature. Look, guys, I am not, and I repeat, like I support women's boxing, but I'm also not like the advocate of women's boxing either, right? Like I'm the guy that says I'm okay with them fighting 2 minutes. I'm good with that. It's fine, right? I'm not the guy that wants like super affirmative action and let's make the cards 50-50, 50% women, 50% men. That's not me, right? I'm just saying you can't have like one women's card fight. You can do one. Like you can give us one. You went from the final card of the year last year, all the attention being dominated on social media by the women, to like you don't do any of it now. Instead, you put a rugby dude on the card. This is what we're doing. Right? I'm not calling for this big movement. I'm not saying, hey, do what MVP does. That's not what I'm saying. You couldn't have like Jazzy Parr on the card. Like you couldn't have her against Solomon on this card or something like that. You couldn't figure something like that out. I think that would have been better. That's my opinion. Right? Because somebody could, I know how people think, right? They're going to come on here. They're going to be like, oh, it's because your team shotgun. You want her on the card. Like, you guys need to understand it doesn't have to be her. It could be anybody, right? It could be Desi Robinson. It could be Kay Scott. What I'm saying is he's made a big drastic change here. Like this is crazy. You're going to put a rugby player. You won't put on a youth world champion. You won't do that. Somebody who won the world championship for Australia in Cooper O'Connell. You won't put him on, but you'll put a rugby player on. I sit back and I wonder to myself, well, no wonder. No wonder like Matchroom keeps signing like Olympians from Australia and stuff, and they beat No Limit to the punch. Because what's the incentive of signing with No Limit? Exactly. What's the incentive? Like, no one really knows what the incentive is. Nobody really knows, right? You can keep putting on Brock Jarvis, even though he gets beat up and like he always fails when you ask him to step up, right? But for whatever reason, you keep putting him on. Doesn't make any sense, right? Zerafa could get sparked every time he steps up, but you're putting him on. But fighters that have great performances, great debuts, and then you don't bring them back. Then why did they have a great debut for? Like, what else? What could they do better? Exactly. Fighters could steal the show, be voted fight of the year, and then you don't bring them back. So what's the incentive structure to put on a great fight, be a good TV fighter, to give people their money's worth? What is the incentive exactly? It's a head scratcher, to say the least. I'll say that. I find myself scratching my head when it comes to No Limit. And this is another example. They're putting a rug. I can't wait to watch the highlight. I'm not going to watch this bullshit live. But I can't wait to see the highlights and just watch people just shred it. You better pray this dude looks decent. You better pray. If he's like closing his eyes and throwing haymakers and sloppy as fuck, and you're featuring this on what's supposed to be a professional boxing card, you're going to get shredded and you're going to get all those clicks that you say you don't do it for. Right? We're going to have Nelson Solomona make his debut. Tag somebody you like to see him fight. Like, what are we doing? Like, what is this? This, to me, is trash. That's what this is, if I'm honest, right? Still love the pyro, still love the rest of the card. I call spades, right? I think the power fight's a phenomenal fight. I think I'm fine with it being pay-per-view. I love the Nikita fight versus Zerafa. I think it's the right fight to make right now, right? I give credit where credit is due at the end of the day. But having a rugby player make his professional debut on the main card, I mean, is this dude like a superstar in Australia or something? Am I missing something? Right? Am I like, what is this? Like, I just don't. And it's going to look worse to the worldwide audience because the worldwide audience, a lot of them don't even watch rugby. So it's going to be even worse. Like, what the fuck is this dude? Right? Right. So I miss the days when we had promoters that wanted to produce a product that was the golden standard. And if this is the golden standard, I don't even know what to say at the end of the day. Love the rest of the card, though. Like, I'm not going to shit on the rest of the card. Love the Paro fight. Right? I love the co-main. I like that Liam Wilson fight. Liam Wilson always brings it. Exciting to watch. I got no beef with that. Right? By the way, if you don't have any women on, whatever, but like, can you at least not, can we put on another men's fight? Like, does it have to be this one? Like, what have we done? I'd rather watch Jazzy Parr beat up on another like girl with a 500 record, to be honest with you, than this. I'd rather watch that, to be honest with you. But no, we got to put some rugby player on. Like, okay. Whatever, right? Let's talk about the main event, guys. I'm not going to play any clips because I don't want any copyright, but I watched I don't know how many of you watched the sit down, right? Somebody's asking Kangaroo Man, where you at, bro? I don't know, right? No, this card is later in the week. Is that what Carl the Hunt? By the way, where's it? There's a lot of dudes, bro, that I haven't seen in a long time, bro. And I know they're not getting notifications. So whenever you see, like, when you see Carl the crocodile, like, let them know, yo, by the way, have you been getting like notifications for this channel, right? Ever since I was talking politics, bro, YouTube did some shit with notifications. It's this way, and I know they're doing it because I created like a side channel and subscribed to myself and put and the notification, and it's not getting it. So something's up. But just let them know, all right? Let them know this style's still alive. You know, I'm just saying. But yeah, I don't know what's going on. The archive does good. Like apparently people pick it up on the archive. And I get, if I just go random at a random time, then it is what it is. That doesn't help either. That's my bad. But with that said, I just want good fights. That's all, based on merit. Like somebody said, hey, aren't 80% of women's fights boring? Now, I don't necessarily agree with that, but even if you feel that way, right? But you think 20% of women's fights are exciting, right? So if a matchmaker is good at what they do, right, then they should be able to get those 20% of women fights. Like, I don't care what anybody says. Those were some great women fights last December. And everybody was talking about it. It was the main talk. And they did nothing with it. It's just lazy, bro. It's just lazy. I'm sorry. Right? So, with that said, I like this fight, but I have some critiques. And I don't know if it's like, look, at the end of the day, I want guys to beat themselves. I want it to be organic. So I don't want to like put words in anybody's mouth and tell them what to say, but I'm just going to be honest. I saw the sit down of Nikita and Michael Zerafa. And cringe. Like I cannot tell you how much I was just cringing. Right? It was just cringe, bro. You have no defense. No, you don't have no defense. Well, I see you throw punches without any defense. And oh, well, what about you? You do the same thing I do. You just throw, and you don't have defense. I'm just like, what are you guys doing? Like, what? Okay, like what? The other one, you're the one under pressure. No, I don't have any pressure. All the pressure's on him. No, that's not true. I don't have any pressure at all. You're the one with all the pressure. Yeah, you're both under pressure. How about that? Like what are we doing? I miss the days when guys relish pressure, right? They say, I thrive under pressure. Or, no, I don't feel under pressure, or whatever it is. But like this one, I'm not the one under pressure. All the pressure's on you. No, all the pressure's on you. Like what does that even mean, bro? Tell me you're okay with losing without telling me you're okay with losing. And I know you two are not okay with losing. So it doesn't matter who has the pressure, bro. I couldn't imagine, like, not that I'm comparing or anything, by the way, but like Marvin Hagler sitting there and be like, there's no pressure on me. All the pressure's on you. I just couldn't imagine that, bro. I couldn't imagine for the life of me a Floyd Mayweather being like, oh, yeah, I have no pressure. You're the one with all the pressure. What does that even mean? I would think anyway, like in Nikita said something along the lines, like it was Zerafa, you're the one under pressure. You got to defend your family's name, this, that, and the third, right? The proper response is very simple and straightforward to me, right? It's very simple, right? You don't have to do a WWE promo or anything like that. It's simple. And it's like this. All I know is that I'm going to beat you. And I could beat you whether my last name's Tszyu, whether my last name is Smith, or whether my last name was Gonzalez, bro. I'm still going to beat you. Simple as that. And one thing I've been waiting for any of these kids that have famous fathers to do, I've been waiting for this for years, and none of them ever do it. Right? They never do it. And I actually got this from a cousin of mine, by the way, but I remember when Sergio Martinez was like telling Chavez Jr., like, you're only where you're at because of your father, and your last name is the only reason you are where you are. And look, man, whether that's like what all of these kids, all of these fighters need to just acknowledge, right? Is, bro, that's the elephant in the room, bro. Right? Of course, they're getting opportunities they wouldn't be getting if they didn't have the last name. Everybody knows that, right? Like you're not exposing anything, which is why I never understood why they run away from it. No, I'm not like my dad. I'm my own man. And like, oh, it's like that's the response they want you to give. They want you to get away from. They want you to like disown your last name and like, I'm my own man. I'm not like my brother. I'm not like my father. I'm my own man. I'm Nikita. I'm not Tim. I'm not Kasha. I'm Nikita. That's what they want you to do. Your attitude should be, fuck it. All right? Yes, my dad's Kasha Tszyu. Who the fuck's your dad? Right? Your dad will be shining my dad's shoes. I think would be a proper response. All right? Oh, what do you mean? That's an asshole move. Hey, if you didn't bring it, they started it. Right? Nobody should have to apologize because your father was famous, bro. All right? Nobody should have to like apologize because that's their dad, bro. All right? Yes, that's my dad. Yeah, that's my brother. What? So what? I'm still going to beat your ass. Well, what about it? That's the only response. That's it. Right? Oh, yeah, but your father's the only. Oh, yeah. Well, who the fuck's your dad? What are they going to say? Are they going to say, hey, why are you bringing up my dad? Well, they're the ones bringing up their dad. You know, like, so what if their dad's famous? Like, I never understood. Why did they run away from that? right? That they want to prove that they don't need the last name. Like, who gives a fuck if you need it or don't need it, bro? Who gives a shit? Your dad went through all that sacrifice. He went through all that shit, all that training, all that hard work and everything for his family to leave a legacy. And that's what he left you. Don't fucking disown it. What are you going to disown that for? Your dad's a fucking legend. You should be proud of that. You should say, yeah, that is my dad. Who the fuck's your dad? That's what I would say. If I was Chávez, you know, tu papá, ¿qué es tu pinche papá? Tú conoces a mi papá, yo no conozco a tu papá. Yeah, you're talking about my dad. I don't even know who the fuck your dad is. Who's the fuck's your dad? Oh man, well, why are you talking about his dad, Nikita? Well, what he's talking about his dad? Like, what are we doing? That's what I would do. Right? I would gladly say, yeah, that's my dad. So the fuck what? My dad's not, I know he's not fighting for me, dumbass. You're fighting me. That's the way they need to approach it, bro. Like that's how they need to react to those things. Don't be apologetic for who your dad is. Don't try to act like it doesn't matter to you. Oh, I'm tired of hearing about my dad. I'm me. I'm my own person. Like, you're saying things that everybody knows already. Like, they know you're not Tszyu, bro. They know you're not Tim. Like, they know you're different people already. You don't need to explain that. That's what they want you to do. All right? Like, what do you mean? Yeah, that's my dad. Who's your dad? Is your dad the dude that was shining my dad's shoes? I think his last name was Zerafa. Was that him? That's what I would say. And if Zerafa gets mad about, hey, don't talk about my dad. Well, you brought up my dad. Right? Like at the end of the day, they don't have anything to stand on. They don't need to apologize because their fucking dad is a legend, bro. Like it is what it is. Right? Oh, he only has what he has because of his dad. Yeah, so what are you going to do about it? So what? So what if he had opportunities because of the last name of his dad? At the end of the day, you still got to win the fight, right? At the end of the day, like I would just say, yeah, okay, fine, yeah. I got opportunities because of my last name, and you're getting an opportunity because of my last name too, Zerafa. This fight wouldn't be pay-per-view. My last name wasn't Zerafa. You're on a pay-per-view, and you're going to make a lot of money off of my dad's name too. So if anything, you should be thanking my dad, right? Maybe you should be thanking Tim Tszyu for enhancing the Tszyu name here in Australia because you're getting paid off of this shit. That's the response you should have to all the sons of legends. And when a stupid fighter brings up that who your dad is, like if that's supposed to mean anything, fuck it, right? Bring up their dad. Who the fuck was your dad? What's your dad doing? What are we done? For all people out, do you apologize if you inherit a company from your dad? Do you apologize if your dad leaves you an inheritance? Do you apologize because they sacrificed so you could have something? They worked hard for that last name to mean something. And there's no reason to disown it. There's no reason to downplay it. There's no reason to act like it doesn't matter. There's no reason to act like you're your own man. And because people know you are your own man. People already know that. You don't need to explain yourself about anything to anybody. Yeah, it's kind of cool my dad's Tszyu, huh? I bet you wish that was your dad. Are you jealous? Are you jealous of my dad? Like that's all you got to do, bro. Little kids got this shit figured out more than these grown-ass fighters, bro. Little kids got this. You remember when you were kids in the playground? My dad's got more muscle than your dad. And my dad could beat up your dad. And I was like, you know what I mean? It is what it is. Right? Yeah, my dad was Tszyu. Yeah, that's my lineage. Those are my genes. Let's talk about your genes. Zerafa. What the fuck was your dad doing? Right? Like, it is what it, because they can't get mad if you bring that up because he's bringing it up. It'll be one thing if a fighter says nothing about Tszyu And then they just randomly started talking about the dude's dad, right? I get that, but like, you don't have to apologize for nothing, bro. Nothing. They got nothing to apologize for. Nothing. I didn't like him when Chavez Jr. downplayed it. Like he was like, because Sergio was, and I was a big Sergio fan, but I remember watching that. And I'm like, bro, what is it to you? His dad is like, well, what are you doing, right? And I remember I said it to my cousin. I'm like, well, what do you think of Chavez? Like every time they bring up his dad, he's like, no, well, I'm my own man. I'm not my dad. I would have been right where I'm at without my dad. And and first of all, nobody even believes that, right? But second, it's like he told me, he's like, well, he should just throw it back in his face. Like, yeah, my dad is a legend. What the fuck was your dad? Your dad was probably shining my dad's shoes and what your dad was doing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because they're doing it to belittle you. Like, if you have something to be sorry about, fuck that shit. Like, that's what I think. That's the way I see it. Right? Let me tell you guys, I didn't inherit shit, bro. All right? Nothing. But if I see a friend inherits like a house or a good amount of money that their parents left behind, like, I'm not going to be a dick and be like, oh, man, you only have that money because your dad left you that money. Like, what the fuck is that? Not going to be happy for them. All right? Like, it is what it is, bro. And guess what? In boxing, you don't just get given everything. You have to, yes, you may have an advantage because of the last name and all that. I get it. But you still got to go to the ring and you still got to win these fights. And you got to deal with all the comparisons that it's a double-edged sword. No other up-and-coming fighters have to deal with like, man, but he ain't as good as his pops, right? If the standard is you're not as good as Tszyu, like, goddamn, bro. You know who else isn't as good as Tszyu? Zerafa. So I don't know what the fuck, like, you know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. That's how I feel about it. Right? Rule of thumb. They bring up family, you could bring up family too. Right? Because they started throwing the rocks in the glass house. And this whole like, oh no, you don't have defense. Oh, you don't know. You're the one that doesn't have defense. Oh, you're the one that throws wild punch. No, you're under pressure. You know what the right response is? Anytime. I thrive under pressure. Oh, give me all the pressure, and I'm still going to beat you. I want you at your best. That way, there's no excuses. Simple as that, right? It doesn't matter at the end of the day. It's going to be settled in the ring anyway. It doesn't matter who's the one under pressure and trying to pass the buck on who has the pressure. I'm going to be honest with you, in a sport where it's about who is the top alpha male, it doesn't even make sense to be saying, oh, you're the one under pressure. You're the one that has everything to lose, not me. Like, it's like, does it matter? None of you want to lose, right? So why are we even talking about that? The rugby boxer's dad is on the card, is he? Maybe that's what it is, you know? Picasso fans aren't crying, brother. We're happy. I'm proud of David Picasso. He did his thing. And there's no shame at all in losing to a generational talent, one of the greatest ever to do it, in Inoue, monster Inoue. So nobody's trying. Not over here anyway. It is what it is, right? But with that said, speaking of alpha males and OGs and all that, right? Well, I just want to give a final thoughts on y'all's favorite influencer, Andrew Tate. And why I'm giving the guy a lot of shit. I'm going to play something, right? I'll stay on the share screen, but I'm going to play some. And, like, honest to God, I'm like these dudes, like, this is Andrew Tate. By the way, check out those tamales, bro. All right, look at these tamales, brother. Look at them wrapped in there. You guys ain't seen tamales like that, bro. You've never seen tamales like that in your life. right? So if I can find it, here it is, right? This is Andrew Tate being a jackass, all right? This is him being a jackass.
I know women. I've been attacked plenty of times. They are absolutely feeble. Even with a knife, they're useless. They ain't ready for the big man slap. I got a big hand. I'll bust their jaw with the bottom of my hand, and the top of their head will be feeling the sting from the fingers, like the whole boom.
So, like, I don't even know what, like, the sponsorships are crazy, by the way, on X.
I know women. I've been attacked plenty of times. They are absolutely feeble. Even with a knife, they're useless. They ain't ready for the big man slap. I got a big hand. I'll bust their jaw with the bottom of my hand, and the top of their head will be feeling the sting
This is Andrew
from the
Tate.
fingers, like the whole boom.
Oh. So Andrew Tate, as like, look, man. It just is what it is, bro. Right? It is what it is with Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate's whole aura, his whole grift, his whole image was about being an alpha male. His whole image was about being a world-class world champion. And he always talked about, you know, how discipline over motivation. And you got to be disciplined. You got to work at what you do. You got to be a man. And losing isn't an option. Even before the fight, talking about forces. And this guy said he wants something bad to happen to me. You got to be careful about the things that you say. And like just the way he was talking. And then over the years, all the crap he said in that clip, he's saying women can't fight. Right? The women, they're all people. And yeah, like, you know what I mean? Maybe that's how No Limits promoter feels. I don't know, right? But like that's how he's talking about women and women fighting. I still remember when somebody asked Andrew Tate if he's seen the movie The Queen's Gambit, which is a movie about a female that wins a world championship in chess, right? He's like, that's garbage. It's garbage. Women can't play chess at the level of men. It's all feminist bullshit. No, this, that, and the third, right? Even though he claims he's this amazing chess player, he's not bad, but there are thousands of women that play way better chess than Andrew Tate, right? We have thousands of females that are, I think we have like 40 actually, like grandmasters, which is a very difficult level to reach in chess, right? When women weren't even allowed in chess clubs for centuries, right? For over a century. Women weren't allowed to play chess for centuries. We had one grandmaster until like the 90s, and we have more than times 40 that because now women are allowed to play, right? Until this day, they're only like 20% of chess players, right? So my point is, it's not that crazy to make a movie about a girl winning some tournament in chess, right? There's a lot of phenomenal chess players that are female, but that are a lot better than him, by the way. There's women that are better at chess than he is at fighting, but he wants to call a movie feminist bullshit, right? And the crazy part about this whole thing is, in that clip, he's making fun of women and how they fight, right? Stereotyping them, right? Women can't fight. Women can't fight. They're feeble. Like, you know what I mean? But then that's how he looked in the ring. And when your image is about being an alpha male and you make fun of the other gender, right? And you make fun of other people because they can't fight, but then you've been lying on your resume for years. That is your image. I don't give a fuck what your supporters say. They're never going to look at you the same. Ever. You're not even talking the same. Right? Listen to it before the fight and after the fight. Two completely different people. Then he said, I'm not going to make excuses. And he makes a whole video making all types of excuses. And this is him, by the way. We're going to play it again. And let's play it again. Fuck it. Right? This is Andrew Tate. This is who this dude is. Y'all's favorite dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, We'll play it again.
I know women. I've been attacked plenty of times. They are absolutely feeble. Even with a knife, they're useless. They ain't ready for the big man slap. I got a big hand. I'll bust their jaw with the bottom of my hand, and the top of their head will feel the sting from the...
Your image is done, brother. It's over. It's if I go around and I tell everybody I'm a good person, right? If all I do is tell everybody, well, what a great person I am, right? Look, I'm a really good, caring person. And then you see footage of me kicking a dog or slapping a little kid or doing something that clearly a good person doesn't do, right? Yeah, my image of me saying I'm a good person is going to evaporate. No one's going to look at me the same anymore, all right? This dude made videos saying that if there was a terrorist attack at a restaurant, like he would kick ass. He would save people's lives, is what he said, right? But he couldn't even deal with his YouTuber. That is your image, bro. And my thing is this, right? You're talking all this shit about women, yet, and I'm not even exaggerating when I say this, every female fighter I've seen on television, every single last one of them, professional female fighters, box better than Andrew Tate. All of them. Every single last one of them. Right? Like, that's how bad Andrew Tate was at boxing. So it's just rich that a dude that make fun of, like, oh, you got to respect him. Look how he talked about women and about women fighting. We're supposed to, like, show him respect, right? All he does, he was talking all this shit about Mexico and Colombia and saying all these disgusting things about these countries not that long ago, right? But you want me to show respect to him for what? The reality is, this was the most exposed I've seen a grifter ever. This was his whole image. His image was, I was a world champion, kickboxer, and I learned how to box, and I learned how to do this, and it's all bullshit. People can't find half of his fights, bro. It was an image. And he thinks, because he brings up the Bugattis he owns, and when in a video where he says he's not going to make excuses, but he makes excuses that somehow that's supposed to impress us. I'm sorry, materialistic things don't really impress me. All right? It is what it is. All right? The Firebird I own, I bought that with my own money. I'm proud of it. It's not a Bugatti, but I'm cool with it, bro. All right? You got exposed. He got exposed, guys. Like, it is what it is. No one, I don't give a fuck what they say. They're never going to look at Andrew Tate the same anymore. That image has been killed. Right? His whole image, all of it, destroyed. He could be called, oh, I was locked up for years and I was this. And you have months to prepare for this fight, brother. I'm 40. Like okay. He was bigger than me. Like, whatever you want to say. I didn't come and fight a scrub. I fought the champion. I mean, okay. Well, that said, I'll leave it at that. And thank you, all of you, for tuning in. I appreciate it. Make sure you hit the like button before you go. And shout out to all of you. I'll be live tomorrow, by the way, but be on the lookout for that. Hit the bell before you go. Hit the all and the notification, especially watching on the archive, that we get the notification for tomorrow. Right? I am out of here, guys. By the way, I touched on this earlier, brother. That one scorecard was way out, but I do think Nakatani pulled it off. But that one scorecard was really bad. It is what it is. I'm out of here, guys. Peace.